I request our director, Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, to deliver his welcome address. Dr. Prabhat, please.
Very good morning. I can see Ms. Meena Sanjanani has also joined, our proud alumni. So welcome, Meena ji, uh, in this induction program. Thank you, Dr. Anurag, for this opportunity. It's my proud privilege to welcome the chief guest of today's induction program, Ms. Anuranjita Kumar. She is the former MD of Bank of Scotland, and she is an author, a wonderful author, because I could not finish your book, madam, but I'm sure I'm going to read all the books that you have written. So colors, we are going to colors, the book colors that you have written, it is with all the students, because we have sent a copy to all of them, and I'm sure all my student friends and faculty colleagues, they have received this copy and they must have gone through it. Uh, so authors are particularly most welcome, is close to my heart, close to our colleagues' heart, and we prefer the culture of reading and talking about books. So we are very happy to have you today here, and look forward to listen to you. Uh, we have this tradition of getting our guest of honor as one of our proud alumni. We have today with us Meena Sanjanani. Meena is AGM, uh, AG, AGM in IDBI Bank. Uh, and we are very proud of your achievement, Meena, and we'll be looking forward, because you're the right guide to all our new batch of students. And in this time of trouble, you can give a lot of insight to them, and students in particular and the whole institution look forward to alumni as a source of strength, not only support, but as a source of strength as well. Uh, I would like to welcome students of new batch 2020-2022. Your batch is very unique. We don't have to say this and reiterate this time and again, because the year 2020 is actually going to go in our down in our memory lane, and we'll never forget. We'll talk about this story to our coming generations as well. As long as we are here, we'll talk about this story. So this 20 is an immortal, kind of year that we all have for one reason or the other. Of course, it actually has lots of testing that it has done to all of us, and we are tested on various grounds. Uh, this particular year has tested us on various grounds, and the victorious are the one who is going to pass these tests. So, we have to very carefully look at uh, that we don't fail in our test, which the time has given to us. And I find that the kind of song that we invocation song our faculty sing for the new batch of the student every year, I see that it's so relevant today. I couldn't have even imagined how relevant these wordings are. We were singing these songs, but the real meaning import of this song I could understand when they said, "Humko man ki shakti dena." I mean, you cannot imagine the day when it will be more relevant than today. We need a lot of man ki shakti. And then they say दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करें. There's a lot of introspection which is required in this time, testing time. And I was going through, if you allow me 5-7 minutes, I was going through the interview which was conducted with the top CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and it was released very recently. uh, and they were asked some questions related to pandemic and things which are very directly concerned with all the students, and this will also give you the indication where the world is moving. So I would just take few minutes to talk about some of the questions asked to them and the way they responded to these questions. So the first question that was asked is about economic activity, and the question was, when will economic activity return to the level it was before the pandemic? It's a wonderful question that everybody would like to ask, and and nobody has the answer. So that's the interesting point. And look what this Fortune 500 companies, CEOs have said about this. So 14.3% of them said that is going to return in 2021. It's a good news to you, but the percentage of them believing in this fact that is going to return in 2021 is very less, 14%. So that means you have to read it with a word of caution. And 52.4% of them said that is going to return by 2022. So here is the hope lies. So almost like 68% of them are voting and vouching for the fact that the economic activity will return by 2022, if not 2021. So that's a silver lining for all of us. So that answers the one question that we keep on asking: when will the economic activity return? The second question asked to them that when will at least 90% of your workforce have returned to their usual workplace? We are not coming to the workplace as we used to come to the workplace, right, on daily basis. So when is that going to happen? So that's also a very interesting question, and it's kind of a reality check. And look what, about 48% of them said that it will be by January 2021. So they're saying that 2020 may not be the year when they are all going to come back, but by 2021 January, probably, we expect that they'll be able to return. And by January 2022, additional 8.3%. And then the downside of this, downside of workforce returning to the previous normal is that almost like 26% of them believe that it will never return the way it used to be earlier. I mean, this is something that we have to understand why they said that. In what way they said that. Does it really mean that physically they are not going to return, or physically they are going to return but mentally they are not going to be the same? We'll have to look into the details, but one thing is very sure, that they are hopeful that the workforce will return to the normal. Question number 3 asked was, when will business travel at your company return to the levels it was before the pandemic? Now, that's also one of the indicator how the normalcy is going to come back. What is going to happen to the travel industry? What is going to happen to the tourism? So, about 14% of them said by 2021, 25% additionally has said by 2022. So about 40% of them are believing that by 2022 it will come back to the normal. But overwhelmingly, 51% of them think that it will never come back to the normal that we have been seeing it. So, this is one area which has been affected very badly, and probably it will take some time for it to come back. So we again have to look at the details of it. Uh, and then the question, which is very, very painful questions, and this question was asked to them, and the question was, have you led off your workers during the pandemic? That's one question that many of us would be looking forward to. What is the answer given by the top CEOs? Uh, the good news is that about 50% of them said that they have not laid off their workforce. And another 7% of them said that they have been hiring during the lockdown. And if I look at the Economic Times report, and then they looked at the LinkedIn posting of the jobs, and they said that during pandemic, about 200,000 jobs have been posted over there. And I always give this hope to our MBA student by quoting these kind of data, saying that job in general, like unorganized sector and in general sectors of the economy, maybe will take some time to return, and it may become a little serious matter. But the job for MBAs are different take altogether, because the companies, when they are going to return to the business, the jobs for MBAs are returning to the business. And there is a hope which has also been shared by the CEOs. Your let off ratio is about 5% to 10%, but that's also a reality. So, question number 5 asked, in January 2021, how do you expect your company's total employment to compare to what it was in January 2020? That's a very interesting question. Another way to asking what will happen to employment scenario. And 53.6%, that's why 54% of them, which is a majority, said that is slightly less, not much less, but slightly less. 10.7%, another 10.7% said that is slightly more. Actually, about 11% believe that the total jobs employment scenario is slightly more than what used to be earlier. And then 3.6%, which is a small part, but they said that is much more today than in comparison to 2020. So, you have to understand as a student that not all, when we say that the economy is slowing down, not all sectors are slowing down. there are sectors which are actually gaining in this pandemic. Say, if you talk about pharma, it is one of the best growth that pharma has seen, ever in the history. And you can actually look at how some of these companies are doing so well. And then 13% of them is roughly the same, and 19% said is significantly less. Question number 6 was asked: the pace of technological transformation in my company. So, said, in your company, what has been the pace of technological transformation? And overwhelmingly, 75% of them said it has accelerated. So this is a big indication for all of you to say that the pace of you know, uh, technological transformation is going to increase, and you are forced to use technology. Many who have not touched computer ever, they are forced to come on computer and talk to people, and learn on the computer. So you can see that this is going to be a reality. And any one single preparations that you have to do for the times to come in the next 1 year, 2 years down the line, is to how you appear on the screen. What is your confidence level to talk on the screen? So what is your digital capability? This is one indicator that all of you have. So there was a business roundtable, and then a lot of the CEOs have made some statements, and out of these statements, 64% agreed to this particular statement. Look at that statement, and overwhelmingly 64% of them actually agreed to it. They said most good companies always have operated that way. Nothing had changed. So they are saying that 64% of them said that for companies, not much has changed. They're operating in the similar manner as they used to be earlier. But I'm not saying that nothing has changed all across. But probably these companies are talking about the core way of functioning that has not changed drastically. But yes, the way you manage your business has changed quite drastically. And 25% of them agreed to this statement. And look at this statement: it represents a significant change in corporate thinking from a decade or two ago. So if you compare the corporate thinking a decade ago or 2 decades ago, the entire way of thought process of corporate world had changed. What is that change? That's your task to find out, and you have to go into nitty gritty. uh, After the pandemic passes, how will the world have changed? That is the question that has been asked to them. And some of the indicators that has come is as follows. And I'm listing only those, it's a big report, but I'm just listing only those which are going to be very relevant for all of you. And you can draw a lot of lessons how you can prepare yourself in the future. So number one, business travel will become less frequent, replaced by video conferencing. So better be geared up for video conferencing, and you should learn how to come on video conference. You cannot be relaxed. You cannot be, how can you look professional? How can you talk professional? How you increase your digital competency is going to be very important. Next is nationalism will rise and global supply chains will become less common. That is one very interesting finding. You can see when we say nationalism is going to rise, that means you have to find out the local resources. You have to compete with the local more in terms of your excellence. So things like vocal for local is going to be good. Import substitution, these are going to be the order of the day. So, and third, government surveillance technique will become more common worldwide. The role of government and the faith in the government and their surveillance is going to increase. So it's going to be an institutional way of dealing with the economy, which is going to be more in the offing rather than a free market, which is guided by the classic Adam Smith's paradigm of invisible hand is going to take a beating. The last thing, single most important thing the crisis taught me, and very interesting statements these top CEOs have made. And by the way, Satya Nadella was considered as one of the three top CEOs out of the Fortune 500 company CEOs. So I mean that's a matter of pride for all of us in India. Uh, so one statement, the first statement, I'm quoting all of you: working from home works. That's what they said. So it's not that the working from home does not work. They said working from home works actually. So you have to learn how this working from home can be effective. Second, the meaning of the essential. So what had changed? The meaning of the essentials. So what is called essential, so to quote, the whole concept of essential had changed for the companies, for individuals, for everything. Today, when you are talking about what is the most essential that you have to do, what is that bare minimum that you are talking about? And when some a decade ago, or some couple of years back, when you were talking about what is the essential, the concept of essential was very different. So the concept of essential had changed in the way of pandemic. Third, it said leadership and values matter always, but especially in crisis. So, we may have been talking about leadership and values, but in the days of crisis, they are the most important ingredient that you can have. And therefore, for each one of you as an individual, develop the leadership, and be the leader the way you are, right? And don't give up your values. Your values are the one which is going to make you stable. The values are the one which is going to pass you through the crisis. How do you rate yourself? How do you stand up and face the crisis? These are all going to be very important. Third, a business cannot wait for the transformation. It knows it needs. So, it's not that, people waited for the transformation. When the crisis came, the transformation automatically happened. And you look at even the smallest of the business, they knew what to do in this pandemic. They have actually, you look at the colleges, you look at the universities in the education sector, and in any other sectors, you look at the way they have transformed themselves, how quickly, how agile they were, like a hummingbird. They changed the whole route, and we have all gone online, and we are so proficient in that. So it's ingredient in us, and when the crisis comes, we adapt. So your agility is very important. And those who said no, 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 agility is not important, we have to sit down, think, take a view, and then change. So this crisis has actually challenged that. So the question I'm asking to all of you: do you know what transformation you need? uh, Think about that. You are the CEO of your own company, each one of you. And why I'm saying that you are the CEO, I'm talking about the CEO of the Fortune companies, but each one of you is the CEO of your own company, and the name of your company is My Life. It's your life, and it's a venture each one of you has, right? And you're the CEO of your own venture, nobody else. So the question is that what transformation in your venture you're going to make, you're going to bring about, right? uh, and where from this transformation will come? Is it going to come from external environment? Is going to come from within? Is it going to come from some explorations? Is it going to come from more preparations? Is it going to come from your agility? I don't have answer right now. If we meet someday, we'll talk about it in detail, but I'm just leaving you with this question. What is the transformation each one of you need for yourself? These Fortune 500 companies and all the rest of the world are changing, and they have transformed themselves as the need of the hour. What is the transformation you people are looking forward to? Find out for yourself, because you are the CEO of your own company already. And if you're thinking that you're a student, you're mistaking. You're not a student, you're a CEO. So take that position and think about how you're going to transform your company, right? And in what way, where from this transformation idea will come. So I'm just leaving you with this kind of thought. And thank you very much. And I'm sure we are all looking forward to listen to Madam Anuranjita Kumarji, and also